It says we're live.
You running away?
I've actually been here all day for the first time in 3
Woohoo!
months.
Oh no, we're losing Donna.
Who's going home?
She's
because
going home.
blood sugar's crashing, and I should go eat something.
Go
You
eat
should.
something.
So stuff on it. So.
Oh. Okay, then. Let's see here. If you would like to keep air conditioning at the blanket fort so Jonna doesn't melt
Yes.
into a puddle of goo,
Not only that, but ow, really expensive.
Yeah.
donate here. Ko-fi.com/the blanket fort. It is 109 degrees out there. Donate.
115 according to what I was seeing, and feels like 119.
Ooh, every
So
bit
yes,
of it.
AC, all of the AC.
Every bit of it. God bless Willis Carrier. If you like coffees, and we still like coffees even when it's 115 degrees outside, King Harvest Imperial Coffees, they've got a great selection. You should try it. They also have great sales. Catch them when they're on sale. If you order from them, remember to tell them you heard about it from us. Among the Leaves Tees, tinyurl.com, Among the Leaves Tees. If you need a sassy t-shirt, and who doesn't, you should probably order from him. He has sassy t-shirts to meet all your sassy t-shirt needs. Again,
there are a lot of designs there.
Again, let them know you heard about it from us.
Yeah, I've been following the chat here, and somewhere in there, the Dyson sphere with the traps all of the sun in. No, thank you. We are living in that currently.
Right.
According to Kermit, we're hotter than the desert right now.
Somebody tell
Do
God.
not like.
Somebody tell God to take us out of the oven.
Down a little.
We're in the oven too long.
Oh my! It's been. We were talking about this just before we started. It has been unusually hot for an unusually long period of time. It has been unusually dry here. We are well below our average rainfall. And those two things together mean that I have actual trees that are dying right now because it is so hot. And it is supposed to be hot for the foreseeable future.
Supposed to break, get into the 90s.
Like
allegedly,
99.
Allegedly this week, I'll take it. Allegedly starting
true.
this weekend after the pedal pushing maniacs get done.
Yep. AJ, you've got that right. No one can accuse us of being half-baked now.
No kidding.
I keep gathering eggs from the chicken coop. In fact, some of those eggs in there are still warm, and wondering if they're going to be coddled.
Just telling Cedar that the only issue, we need rain. Yeah. But heat is energy. And energy goes into weather systems in funny ways.
Mm-hmm.
And when this heat breaks, we're going to get our late summer storms.
Yep.
And with all of the energy in the atmosphere, they're liable to be festive.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking forward to baseball-sized hail and screamy, whirly winds of death.
Nope, me neither. But on the other hand, we desperately need some rain. I don't think we're going to catch up this year. I think we're going to wind out the year below average.
Depends on how many hurricanes hit just right in the Gulf.
Well, see, look, here's the thing. I was looking at my weather data, and 2 years ago, we had a day where it dumped 5 inches of rain in one day, and that does us no good. Don't do that.
Boy, did it not do us any good. Because it just
runs off.
Into the river, which runs right through the middle of Itchypaw. And then the Itchypaw City Fathers, when they set that place up, were not cognizant of the term floodplain. And Cedar hadn't been here for one of those yet.
No. So there's a fire down by Fort Worth. This is data that I need to go look up because
it's 281 between here and Jacksboro. And it is burning quick.
Okay, so probably okay. Saturday, I'm going down
1,000 acres a minute.
Yay. Yeah, Saturday I'm planning a trip down to a fiber festival with Julie.
You might want to take 287.
I am planning it now. So we'll see.
Wait, there is a steam.
So for those of you that do prayers or good thoughts, Jim, his daughter is currently in surgery, and he's just gotten word that it's going to take a little longer. I'm getting texts. He's just gotten word it's going to take a little longer than originally planned. So if you could keep her in thoughts, and Jim too, because he's the one pacing the waiting room.
And he's taking care of grandkids.
Yes.
Grandpa has showed up,
Grandpa has grandkids and dogs
and granddogs and
and
grandcats.
and cats, which Jim is not a big cat person.
I'm going to apologize for being less available than usual. I got a couple of Facebook and some messages asking if I was okay. Um, something I changed some meds, and something happened I haven't happened in about 10 years. I started building a world. I don't know what to do with it, but I'm locked in on building a world. I discovered that I can put what I've already figured out into Grok and say
Mhm.
analyze, and it'll come up with stuff. And most of it I don't use, but
No.
every once in a while there's a bit of, hey, and then that goes in and spawns a whole different. I've got a backstory to this world going back to 1994.
Grok works as a rubber duck, but for me, it usually works because I will poke it with an idea and it'll tell me something, and I'll be like, no,
Yeah.
absolutely
Oh no,
not. No, this instead. And then I've got something I can use.
no, 9% of what it gives me is utter crap.
Right.
But if you go through, I'm putting in my ideas for the world. I'm hitting analyze, and it's giving me. And like I say, 9% of it's crap. But
And
every
now
once in a while,
everybody's asking about yeet cows.
shut it, bastards. But no, I'm going through, and it's lovely because I'm into this where I get locked in and forget to eat, which I had realized I've missed. And so I'm building this world, and when I did like I did for the Fluffy Eco universe, I get kind of detailed. Y'all may not have noticed, and I'm building this world. It's the story I think is set current day, but I'm building the backstory of the main characters all the way to when they met in college in 1994, and they've turned into some really weird people. By the way, weird, adorable, not, but woo.
Jesse's saying make sure you extract the World Bible regularly. I assume none of those things are going to remember
no.
anything. So
I don't
save it into a whole nother document.
The way my World Bible is on a thick stack of these. So I'm reading it, and I can say discarding about 90%. I say, oh, and I'll write that down. And then I'll highlight that part, analyze, Control V, and it gives me another 9% crap, but 10%, ooh, goodness.
Yeah.
And I'm building a world that's really, really weird.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's nice, though.
Yeah. I think I've talked about it before. I've used Grok in very weird ways, which is to poke it with bits of story and ask it to give me song lyrics based on that. And then as I'm listening to the song, I get more sparks that are not related at all to what Grok has done, which is basically just crunch things into a song, a ballad-ish usually.
It's also adding a romantic edge that I'm not good at doing. So I'm gonna have to run this past some. I'm gonna have to run this past some people at the distaff side because Grok can get a little freaky sometimes.
So here's the thing:
we need some air conditioning.
Yeah. So here's the thing, which is Grok is predictive algorithm, and it's going to drift towards the majority of written words and stories out there, which are romances. So if you don't want it to do a romance, you have to tell it not to do a romance. But on the other hand, there's nothing wrong at all with a non-traditional romance.
Oh, it's fairly traditional. It just expresses itself in weird ways.
I was just saying that Grok is going to be giving you the averages, and there are a lot of romances out there.
I had wondered about that.
Now I think if you tell it not to do that, it'll stop. But on the other hand, it's not a bad subplot.
Well, it's making the. This is going to sound weird. It's making the. I don't usually have a problem with this, or at least I don't think I do. But it's making the current characters very rich. It's there's a lot. The backstory that nobody will ever see makes the writing it better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. And
if you know why the couple are standing at the corral with their hips touching, you don't have when you write that, you don't have to put
all of that on paper.
The backstory going back to '94 when she she wore his jacket to a class in college. But it for some reason it makes it makes writing about the story a little richer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm going to use that as a segue as far as writing about romance. The chat's talking about we lost Dolly Parton,
Yes, we did.
and I was not. I'm very grieved. I'm more grieved about it than I thought I would be.
Yeah.
And
Boy,
I'm trying not to get choked up
the
here.
little old ladies at the
Yeah,
manor are losing their minds.
but also she lost her husband less than a year ago.
I didn't
about
expect her
that,
to last.
And theirs was a romance, and a very real romance in a way that most books don't quite capture. So I was not terribly surprised, but we'll never see another one like her.
Yeah.
So they broke the mold with that woman.
This is going to strike several folks kind of odd. I may not have had a comment about 18 years ago, and I said that if Dolly Parton ever came to me and said, "Ian, would you kill that guy?" That gentleman was about to have a very bad day, and I wasn't going to ask why. Because if Miss Dolly wanted him to die, well, he needed to die. And some folks took that and ran with it. I have been misquoted all over the internet.
No, it's very sweet because I mean, it was clear he was never in the public eye, but it was clear that
apparently he hated.
Yeah, but it was clear that she considered him her rock. He was her anchor.
She was a sassy lady. Ooh, she was a sassy lady.
Oh, she was fun.
Ever seen that video clip of her and she's up on stage performing and somebody yells, "Dolly, I love you." And she responds, "I love you too, but I told you to stay in the trunk."
Oh, that was perfect. And I mean, that's the thing about a great performer is they can ad-lib stuff like that and it just flows. I mean, she was a consummate professional.
She was one of the few guests that absolutely wiped Johnny Carson out.
Oh yes.
She was there and they were taught. She segued into something about, Lord no, these aren't real. And Johnny I said, "You know how much wigs cost?" Wiped him out.
Oh, yeah, no, America doesn't have royalty, but she was basically royalty for America.
Well, she was an absolute sweetheart. She really was. She did the literacy programs she started were absolutely fine. Just they changed a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, she gave generously.
Yeah,
she really did.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, she's one of the few people that I would not have. If I would not have questioned, she said, "Can you kill him?" Okay, here we go. Listen, dude, this ain't gonna be a good day for you.
No, it's. I mean, I think she inspired a lot of people. I hope she did because she certainly left the world a better place. Mm-hmm. And people that can step up and do that level of, she was a lady.
Yeah, she was.
I mean, she was sassy, but she was a lady.
Well, Southern belles are.
Yeah. And just that level of, I don't know, I can only aspire to be a fraction of that kind of ladyship.
I love you too, but I told you to stay in the trunk.
Oh, yeah. Somebody was saying that they call that crowd work these days. I've done some of that, and it is both.
That was called being Ms. Dolly.
That is both a talent and requires a lot of practice.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of just let go of any inhibitions of feeling like you're going to look stupid or anything. And you just, because if you don't have the confidence, you cannot pull that off. Mm-hmm. And I know this from experience because it took me years to get to the point where I could riff off the audience. But I mean, not at that level, but I know what level I was at and what it took me to get there. But there are people that are just, that's the kind of workmanship they put into their craft, and that was hers. Mm-hmm. So yeah, arcade is my favorite Dollyism. It takes a lot of money to look this cheap.
I met her one time working security, and she was an absolute lady. She really was. Sweetheart.
Yeah, no, yeah, no. It's one of those things of there was a conversation somewhere, I don't even remember exactly where it was recently, actually talking about intellectuals, um, Thomas Sowell, and how we
There's another
don't
one that we're going to miss when he dies.
Camille Paglia, whose name I probably just mispronounced,
Paglia. I don't know.
eh, and they're elderly at this point. I mean, Thomas Sowell's 96.
Yeah.
I have no idea how old Camille is, and I wouldn't ask because I have great respect for her, but you don't ask a lady her age.
One of these days, I would love to be in the corner with a beer, listening to Clarence Thomas and Thomas Sowell
Oh my
talk over
gosh.
coffee.
Yeah. But what the conversation was is that because of how how to even put this into polite words, eviscerated academia is, we don't have another generation of intellectuals on their level because the kids are not being allowed.
They're not being taught how to think. They're being taught what to think.
Right. And it's just like, we'll probably never see another Dolly because she was a master of her craft. And what she did for all of the stagecraft that she was, kids don't do that these days. And kids aren't being taught how to think at that level. So we'll have having another Thomas Sowell is difficult, very difficult to train somebody without the foundational support. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of them that are where the great thinkers are dying, the great performers are dying. I mean, some of it's my age and my disconnect from popular media, but I'm not seeing anyone come up to replace these people.
J. Kent Pierce. Or you can pour the backstory into short stories, novellas, and prequels. No. It is, as an experiment, I decided to see how much Grok would modify the personality of a character through writing sex scenes. And the answer is quite a bit.
I don't think I would ask Grok to write those kinds of scenes.
I write it, and then I ask Grok to analyze it.
Oh,
and
okay.
I say, all right, now, based on this scene, tell me about person A. Mm-hmm. And I start writing because, again, 9% of it's crap. But, yeah. Wow, that 10% is...
Yeah. Being an autodidact, speaking as one, and sitting next to another one, can only get you so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing about intellectual and debate in particular, so we're talking the minds like Sowell and C.S. Lewis and somebody up there told me how to pronounce her name, which is Camille Paglia. And the thing about that is that you have to hone your brain by clashing with another brain. It's the same as sharpening steel. Steel sharpens steel. And that's why academia is failing that level of thinkers, because academia is not steel these days.
RK, if I actually write a story out of this, there will not be any intimate scenes in it. I'm just using it as an experiment to see how it drives character. And it's amazing. As far as Grok is absolutely convinced that we are very sexual. Sure is steel. Steel what?
Tolkien was on a different level.
No kidding.
And yeah, different level, whole different level.
The children that think that they've watched the movie and they think they know Tolkien. And by children I mean George R.R. Martin. Has everybody seen that quote from George R. R. Martin, where and there's usually it's attached to the audio clip where he says it is that um, something about how George or
You too, Kermit.
how uh, Tolkien obviously never um, his hobbits didn't have sex, and the response is long and illustrative. It's like Sam had 13 kids, dude.
Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I mean, there are days that the whole trying to be a lady and not saying anything if I can't say anything nice gets real
Yeah.
hard.
Have you seen how many kids? Yeah.
Uh,
Sam Gamgee had 13 kids.
Here's the thing: AI is a tool, and on several meanings and levels of that word, it's a tool.
My time, I've found myself back in the world creating headspace, which I haven't been in over a decade, and I'm loving it. I'm loving being locked in and forgetting, stuff except this world you're creating, and the using of Grok is just it's expanded it a bit, but the core world building's still mine.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is that all you're using it for is as a tool to bounce your thoughts off of, and so it's your thoughts going out and your thoughts coming back, just slightly reworded, and that gets your brain thinking in slightly different directions. This is what I've noticed with Grok when I've asked it questions.
And by the way, Grok is a crap story smith. It
Oh, yeah.
really is. It's bloody terrible.
So again, because of what it is, it's always going to default to the average. And several people in my Discord read a lot of Jane Austen fan fiction, and they're noting that quite a bit of it is generated by AI these days.
Yeah.
And the complaints, oh my goodness, are fascinating because the AIs have some severe limitations. So just checking in a prompt and expecting it to write a story for you is never going to beat a human story that actually has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and follows the character along without suddenly displacing them in time and space. I understand that things happen in these AI stories that, well, okay. I'm not going to say no human would do that because I've read some of those stories.
Have you met people?
Yeah. Yeah, and I've read a lot of bad stories over the years.
Okay, about 3 days I've been bouncing stuff off of Grok. I've got about 20 yellow pages of just, doodling world building. 3 days of this. So I sat down, what the hell? I said, all right, Grok, I need a science fiction story or urban science fiction story with these two characters we've been discussing. And, a short story, 3,500 words, go. Holy crap, that was crap. That was terrible. Woo! No. I don't see how people think they can get away with it. Just I'm reading what it upchucked. And it's like, we're going, dude, you can build worlds, but that's it.
I mean,
leave the rest to me.
The thing is, and there's another conversation. This one partly on X, I think, partly sparked by an episode of Writer Dojo, but which I don't listen to Writer Dojo, so I don't know. But the conversation has been about pantsers, plotters, and then drafters versus editors. So evidently, some people prefer editing to drafting, which is weird to me because for me that process of writing the first draft that is my jam. But I'm a pantser. And so MCA Hogarth had some really interesting things to say about this, which is where it first popped up in the numerous sidebar conversations elsewhere. But so evidently, if the thing that you really hate doing is doing that first draft, evidently using one of the chat things to help you get that first draft out, and then you go through it and layer by layer deconstruct what the AI has screwed up and make it your own, is what some people are using to get past the part they don't like. To me, that sounds like sheer hell
Right.
because not what I enjoy. On the other hand, I use Pro Writing Aid, which I'm pretty sure is an AI, and mostly I yell at it about I meant to do that, don't fix it. But it's also really good at catching my abusive commas, so I do want those fixed. So for me, the AI helping me with the copy editing part because it's pants at um, structural editing, it just can't. Um, so for every different type of writer, there's going to be a different use for the tool that isn't going to be just chuck a concept at it and accept what it spits at you because that's going to be garbage.
The thing, if I write an actual book, I've spent at least 3 days building the world in my head and building the story. I can't edit because once I start reading the draft that I've completed, my brain starts filling in what I meant, and I miss all the errors because I'm not actually reading the story except for notes anymore.
This is why I can't edit my own work. I have editors I work with. Pro Writing Aid actually has been helpful. I bought a year. You can buy a lifetime license of Pro Writing Aid, but I didn't want to commit to that until I knew I was actually going to use it because I've bought writing tools in the past that I never used, like Plotter, thinking I might actually try outlining. But, well, to be fair to Plotter, they waved a cute baby at me at LTUE, and of course I signed up. Feed the babies.
I've got a Rita, so I don't need an editor.
But so the thing is that everybody's different. Mm-hmm. Everybody works in different ways. So finding tools that work for you and with you and for you, not because, I mean, I have a bunch of friends that swear by Scrivener, and I can't do Scrivener. Scrivener just doesn't work for me. But everybody's different, and everybody's got these different tools that they find, and if you're lucky, you find them and they create a workflow that starts sparking more and more story for you. So,
well, if I actually get a novel out of this, I'll have my world, and then I'll start writing, and I'll probably ignore most of the world.
Yeah, I could see that. So, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of AI crap out there. I hate the word slop. I'm stopping using it. That's a whole sidebar that goes into food. But there's a bunch of AI crap out there, but it's Sturgeon's law, and 90% of everything is crap. The human, but the thing about AI that annoys me is that everybody is like, oh, the AI did that. I'm not, no, a human did that using the AI. The AI is not conscious. Thank God.
Well, like I said, I'm enjoying getting stuck in, and it's weird. I don't know if other people do this, but I'm locked in this world till it decides it's done being created. I'm kind of locked in, and I'm weird because I actually enjoy that.
Yeah,
and I'm at the point I get a little annoyed if I'm interrupted, which
hyper focus.
Yeah,
I was doing that this morning. I actually got into what I was doing, and the dog kept wanting my attention. And finally, I'm like, all right, you've been outside twice in the last hour. You do not need to go out again. And I shut the studio door with him on the other side. Puppy eyes.
I was busy trying to figure out why the hell they decided to move to Henrietta in 1995 and just bang around and building this little conflict. And I looked up, and there's a little old lady crying at me because Dolly Parton just died.
Yeah.
And I got annoyed.
Oh. Yeah. No, I will go on the rant about slop. So
Okay.
A while back, and this is like months ago, I realized that kids on the internet were using slop for everything. And so this one guy was posting about how he'd made dinner, and his kids were like, "Dad, slop," and they ate the food happily and that. And I'm looking at it going, that was a really rude thing for your children to say to you
about
the food that you just made.
You put on the table.
And then somebody else just, like maybe this morning, was talking about biscuits and gravy looking like slop. And I'm like, all right, I've had enough of this word. Because, well, first of all, it's overused. But second of all, sometimes food doesn't look appetizing, but that's partly a just the way food is. I mean, you also can do things about presentation to make it look better. I put some effort into photographing biscuits and gravy a while back for a food blog to try and make it look pretty because my husband's gravy does not involve sausage. So it's white gravy on white biscuits, and I'm like,
it's roux with flour.
yeah, basically, and lots of bacon grease, all the bacon grease. So, and yes, also I have struggled to photograph SOS to make it look attractive, but that doesn't mean that it's slop because it's still good food. It tastes good. You just have to not. If you start thinking about it as slop, then you're going to have trouble eating it and enjoying it.
I just realized I said roux and flour, and for those that cook, that was a bit of weird. I think one of the great things is as I'm developing these characters, which I'll probably never do anything with, but I'm having a great deal of fun. The hyper focus thing. This morning when I realized that one of the characters has a hyper focus. And it was just now I realized, holy shit! I've just written one of my own character flaws into one of my protagonists. This sucks.
We do this from time to time. Everyone talks about self inserts and Mary Sue's, and I'm like, yeah, but that only is a bad thing if you're making the character be everything that you're not.
Oh,
because most of us are acutely aware that we're flawed. Okay, biscuits and gravy with salmon. You have intrigued me, Nancy.
I realize that bagel and lox is a breakfast thing. I don't consider any fish to be a breakfast. I'm weird. I don't consider any fish to be a breakfast food. And biscuits and gravy are definitely breakfast.
Definitely breakfast. So lox was interesting to me because I'd had smoked salmon, and somebody was like, "Here, smoked salmon," and I'm like, "Oh, I like smoked salmon." And lox is not what I grew up with. It's good. I enjoyed it, but it is not the smoked salmon that I grew up with in Alaska, which is a whole different beast. Yeah. So, yes, fresh biscuits from the oven with butter, jam, or marmalade. Please, yes.
Oh,
yes. See, I grew up with biscuits and honey. I don't think I ever ate biscuits with gravy until I was an adult. So when I make biscuits, my husband and I have finally come to a division of I make a little bit of his white gravy, and my biscuits are had with honey or jam. Yeah, disrespect is a big thing with the kids. Going back to the slop thing, Mom put up a thing. It's a modern failure to teach children respect. Because that's something I've been seeing for quite a while, and it's depicted in media so much.
And it's depicted, especially out of Hollywood, it's depicted as the default state, which is good and normal. And quite honestly, some of the things kids say to parents on modern comedy shows would have gotten me backhanded across the table.
Yeah, and what is it called? Permissive parenting, which is basically where you let the kids get away with anything. That's been around for a really long time.
If you want a permissive parent, kick their little asses out the door at 8:00 and don't let them come back in until the lights come on. That's permissive parenting. She was mentioning marmalade, and it saddens me that the only marmalade that the Americans ever get is orange, and it's honestly not. It's not the best orange marmalade I've ever had, but
American marmalade is an abomination.
What she said. But I'm a little sad Americans can't get really good lime marmalade. Marmalades
Not
are
done lime marmalade.
yeah, just about any citrus can be a
I've made lemon marmalade.
yeah. I've had lemon, I've had orange, I've had lime, I've had
See, but Seville oranges, the bitter oranges, that's the stuff.
not kidding.
Yeah. Okay, so
You're not kidding.
Rick, you are both right and wrong.
Uh-oh.
It goes back further than Dr. Spock. Dr. Spock
Yeah,
is
but
just
he
the
was an
modern iteration of it that became large on mass media.
He's an idiot. Was an idiot.
No, I mean, absolutely, but it actually goes back into the 1800s. The whole concept, and you could see, I think both Dorothy Sayers and Agatha Christie lampoon it in some of their novels, where the parents are having children that they never punish in any way because it will inhibit them and keep them from developing their own whatever it is. But that's actually been around as a concept back into the era when they kept then various assorted lots of people kept trying to do communes, and they'd let the children run around without clothing and stuff, which is
It's called being a boy.
You're seeing the tip of the iceberg, because the big growth underneath of that, hidden under the water, is all of this weird stuff that was going on way back when. And the more you study history, especially history of educational movements, the more you see that there's been some very strange stuff. And then the children that got raised in these psychological experiments, and so a lot of them were frankly experimenting with their kids and in ways that are abusive, clearly abusive. Yes, Joel, absolutely right. Clarence Eustace Scrub is a prime example of that depiction in fiction and literature. And so if we go back and we look at when we see these kids, they grow up in these academic, highly experimental enclaves, and then they go into teaching theories of education, and suddenly and inevitably, unexpectedly, we have the American education system as it stands today, which is deeply flawed from the beginning.
If I remember correctly, somebody correct me if I'm incorrect. Dr. Spock never had kids. Is that correct?
I don't know for sure, but I think you're probably right. A lot of the educational theorists either didn't have children or raised their children in such a horrific way that, yeah.
I've always been of the understanding that Dr. Spock didn't have children, which always led me to the question, which usually got me thrown out of lecture halls, was if it's bad for somebody who's never been a woman to tell a woman what to do with herself, why would you listen to somebody who's never been a parent tell you how to be a parent? Experience has a certain quality all its own.
It does. After World War II in Britain, there was an education descent system, Richard Brown's comment. Actually, what happened with World War I in Britain is that it killed off so many of the brightest and best that what were left were the cowards and dissenters.
Yeah,
exactly. And a lot of them stayed out of the war by becoming teachers. This happened again in Vietnam, with similar effects on the American society.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
All right. So, just check. Dr. Spock did have children, two sons and a stepdaughter.
My bad.
So, but yeah, there's Jesse Barrett. So, what was the comic where the child psychologist recommends a book for a problem child, and when the parents say it isn't working, the kid shrink takes it and uses it as a paddle? Yes, and unfortunately, that would never happen. But it's a lovely thought. Yeah, trench warfare was horrific.
Trench warfare was...
And now we come back to C.S. Lewis and Tolkien again.
Right. Trench warfare was, pun intended, an entrenched mindset with a rapidly changing and adapting battlefield that the entrenched mindset could not adapt to.
Yeah.
They were, the generals were ossified in this was how you won wars. and which was a war-winning strategy prior to machine guns, tanks, barbed wire, and rolling artillery barrages.
And chemical warfare.
Chemical warfare.
Yeah. So Lewis and Tolkien were shaped by their wars,
Experiences, yes.
and when you approach both of them reading their books with that lens in place, knowing that you start to see a lot more. And the other thing too is that they were both formed by George MacDonald. They were both very informed by his writings and works, and most people these days have not heard of George MacDonald, much less read any of his stuff, which I'm a big proponent of knowing who the teachers were of the people that you admire and respect, because chances are there's something to learn from them. Obviously, the people that you enjoy learned from them. Um, so it's interesting to track back and start looking at that.
How's that mindset different from what we have today in the upper military? It never changes. I will say that.
Kipling's Tommy Resonance.
Oh, yeah. Um, no, that is an age-old complaint about the generals always preparing to fight the last war.
Yeah.
It's an age-old complaint. We've run across it every time. Hell, even GWAT was a holdover to how we fought the Cold War, which would have actually been a somewhat analogous war if we thought about it, but it wasn't. We started out World War II thinking it was how we won World War One. We started out Korea thinking it was how we won World War II. We started out Vietnam thinking it was how we won World War II, and just
it's as I've been doing the poetry for the blog for the last couple of years. I really just keep wanting to go back and just stay on Kipling for a long time, and I've been resisting that because he was prophetic in a lot of ways, and it can get kind of depressing.
no kidding.
So I have been interspersing a lot of Edgar Guest, who is relentlessly cheerful most of the time. And Robert Service is another one who was formed by his service in the war.
He is
pun intended.
not necessarily cheerful.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, definitely not. Well, you know what he did? He drove ambulance.
No.
So, yeah. I mean, that'll leave an impact. And, I mean, that's a really wonderful thing now for me as an adult and being able to access all this information. Because when I was a kid, no internet and no way to look this up. But going back and looking at these different authors that I really loved growing up and finding out that they served in World War II or World War I, and then seeing that lens of how that shaped their fiction through their experiences. Yeah, Fulda Gap. I'm not so sure that had Russia gone off,
Stupid.
that they wouldn't have tried to come through Fulda Gap.
Talk about an entrenched mindset.
To this day.
The one way that the getting ready to fight the prior war works is when the bad guy is going to start off by fighting the prior war. And the Soviets/Russians, Stalin did bad things to their gene pool. The level of IQ took a precipitous drop after he got done executing anybody with 2 brain cells.
Executing them and starving them, more to the point. Epigenetic memory is a thing, and we know from studies that it affects people for 2 to 3 generations after a famine, because we were able to study that extensively in Europe after the end of World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And it, if your pregnant mothers don't have sufficient fat in their diet during pregnancy, babies' brains don't fully develop. The children that don't have fat in their diet
Brains are made of fat.
And hear me in this, children that do not have sufficient fat in their diet do not fully develop their brains. The American war on fat for the last generation, 2 generations, has affected our children and the overall intelligence level of an entire nation.
Also, the internet.
Well, yeah, but that's just where you can see it.
That whole thing in the 60s to the 80s about how
Oh, wonderful, differs.
What?
Tam has discovered how to make animation. Yes, animated movies, really good ones
The
coming
whole
up.
thing that started in the 60s and came to a high point in the 80s about how if only everybody had access to knowledge, nobody would be a dick anymore. Boy, we screwed that one up. Some access to some total human knowledge. Have you read a comment section lately?
Yep. At Tuvala, Armenians are still short. I was taller than many men, and I'm 5'7". Yeah, it affects everybody, and it affects their structure. It affects their intelligence level. Um, so, right, no, I am all on board for Tam having discovered animation. I have not really done a lot of tinkering with animation, but I do know that we need young filmmakers who are going to be willing to break with Hollywood and make original stories. So, go Tam, go!
I posted talking about animal fats on here. I posted a story from Fish and Wildlife, I think. They had a game camp set up on some sort of ground nesting prairie bird. And the nest had 2 cowbird chicks and 2 what the mama was trying to raise chicks.
Uh-huh.
So they're watching this quite interestedly, and then they noticed that a deer came up, went, ooh, baby McNuggets.
Yep.
Ate when the cowbirds wandered off, came back in a couple hours, ate another one. The next day, wandered up, had a snack, and this deer deliberately sought out that nest and was nomming on
Mhm.
chicken McNuggets.
Yep.
And Rick Randall, bless his heart, said, you know what the best source of fats and proteins for a growing vertebrate is? Other vertebrates. I did not realize that people did not know that horses and cows and deer would eat baby squirrels, baby rabbits,
Anything they can
baby
find.
birds.
Yep.
If you're Australia, the occasional snake.
Yep.
They will. Herbivores aren't necessarily herbivorous.
No. And I mean, so this spring we had a nest of baby cardinals in our vine, and we were watching them eagerly. And we also had a pair of blue jays hanging out in the yard, and the cardinals disappeared. We came out one morning and they were gone. And I am pretty sure that the blue jays found the nest because the blue jays had been chased by the mama and papa cardinal more than once. And so, yeah, I mean, birds are the same way. I mean, cuckoos are, that's a whole other level of cowbirds are a cuckoo.
Yeah, I don't know of any actual bird I would classify as herbivorous. Chickens,
Oh my gosh.
came from dinosaurs. They've never forgotten. There's a T-Rex in that chicken's tiny little brain trying to figure out why it doesn't have fingers anymore.
So if the box of eggs says that the chickens ate a vegetarian diet, that is cruel.
That's cruel to the chicken.
Yeah, hummingbirds are vicious, and they're insectivores. They eat a lot of insects. Everybody think, oh, nectar, sugar water. No, spiders. Insects, mostly insects.
Spiders and mosquitoes, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, they're great little friends. Wasps are another one that are a big mosquito eater, and why, if they're not bothering me, I will leave a wasp nest alone because
chickens, no, chickens are carnivores.
Yep.
Like I said, it's somewhere inside those 2 brain cells. There's a T-Rex going, why don't I have fingers?
Oh, Greg. Sentient T-Rexes would make great small arms dealers.
Boo this man. Boo him.
Tuvala says, pray for the outcome of the South Carolina Senate election today. Replacement for Lindsey Graham will be chosen today. Yeah, we need some reasoned and rational people. Not necessarily good people, but reasoned and rational
Rational would be
people.
lovely.
So
Um, having enough brain mass to stop dribbling their milk down their front of their shirts would be lovely too.
just someone that can think through
Oh,
second order consequences.
have
Would be
you
nice.
been on Facebook today?
As little as possible.
Hang on.
Uh-oh.
I got a question.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Well, it's not a bad question. It's just a question because
No more Kennedys. Please, God, no.
I have seen
We've
something
had enough Kennedys.
and I am curious. Let me find this. Cat Hell. She lives
Reasonably close.
reasonably close.
Yeah.
And somebody
Oh,
apparently,
that Kennedy. He's all right.
somebody apparently sent her a picture of some critters that were running around their house.
Ooh. Speaking of Louisiana, if you guys haven't seen the videos out there on X right now about Starbase and the big purchase in Louisiana, go check it out. It gives me hope for getting off this mud ball.
Elon bought Louisiana?
Elon bought Louisiana.
Goodness.
Mostly. I mean, not all of it yet. Hotter than hell. I am
Does
staying
anybody
as
know
close
what
to
the
home.
hell those are?
Oh, that's
She does.
interesting.
Or not?
I don't know exactly what those are. They do look like a kind of rabbit to me, like some kind of desert hare sort of thing.
Anybody know what the hell those things are?
They look to me like some kind of a rabbit, but I have
Yes,
a
those
field
are
guide.
within 40 miles of me, and I've got a 22 and an instant pot.
I've got a field guide to mammals. I'll have to go home and look them up. So
I do know they're not native to Texas, so they're free game. Pun intended.
see, Coons, has he been dead that long?
What?
Ted Kennedy got his 17-year sobriety pin today. And
Oh, nice.
Has he been dead that long? Yeah.
That is definitely not a quokka. I don't know what it is, but I'll bet.
This is Texas. We have a lot of random introduced weirdness. So I would not bet against quokkas, but no, I don't think they're
Nope,
a
that's not a
quokka.
quokka. I know what it is.
Jackalopes are native.
It might be a jackalope
I'm with you,
off,
Differs.
off the mating season. But I've got instant pot, rice, and Cajun seasoning. I'm willing to bet I can do something with it.
You know, there's something to be said for having a recipe for pretty much anything.
Patagonian what?
Maras.
Damn,
I'd never
Jesse,
heard of
that was quick.
So just like we don't trust the AI for a lot of other things, trusting it for identification, verify first. Check the facts. Yes, first start a roux. You are correct.
Yes.
Roasted iguana for iguana. I've heard that. I've also heard it's fishy and kind of tastes nasty. Yeah, the only iguana I've ever seen that was big enough I'd be willing to cook it was dead at the time, and I'm not going to cook. I'm not going to pick up something that's already dead. Bad idea. Bad. Yes, cook anything long enough, and it does start to taste like chicken. Chicken of the trees. Absolutely right, Greg. Yeah, Jesse, I wouldn't be surprised if it is those because, well, it's Texas. Texas have the world's largest population of nilgai.
Those are Maras.
Okay, yeah, that ear structure is kind of unmistakable.
This is annoying.
So
there's not a subsection for recipes. Damn it.
Oh, the cats brought you a snake for breakfast? How nice of them to
Also
share their
known as
meals with
Patagonian covies or Patagonian hares. Quite so humans have raised a human interaction from a young age. Where is the recipe section?
Big rabbit. There's nothing wrong with big rabbits. We had Californians for a while, which are a large meat breed that are colored like a Siamese cat. So like little brown faces, brown ears. Yeah, they're a kind of breed of rabbit. They're meant to eat. This is in New Hampshire.
Aren't
also.
you worried about prions? I mean,
So
I'm all for lowering the population, but
we had Californian rabbits.
oh, rabbits!
Um,
I heard Californians.
we had Californian rabbits because they're extremely gentile. They're very docile, and we got them as magic bunnies. The problem is we had an incident with a child that charged the stage and grabbed the magic rabbit, and the magic rabbit was extremely polite and did not eviscerate said small child. But after that, we went away from using the very large rabbits because they'll do some damage.
Bugs went to visit a farm in the country.
No, Bugs lived in a cage
Oh,
in my
okay.
office for about 5 years because he was a nice bunny and I didn't have the heart to put him in the stew pot.
Yes, Rick, I missed the meat rabbit part. I heard Californians is like, damn. I mean, I'm all for lowering the population count, but shit.
So the world's largest rabbits are Flemish, and those things get huge. I mean, you know the big fluffy Maine Coon cats?
Yeah.
They're Flemish bunnies that look like that when they weigh like 30 pounds. I am unfortunately, due to prolonged exposure to rabbits, very allergic to rabbits. So I will not be raising rabbits for meat.
No, but
Because-
apparently there's a couple of South American imports, and I've got a 22. Within 30 miles, and I've got a 22.
So, I mean,
Seems to breed us out of house to home.
entirely possible that they were an introduced species because people do odd things. But also, in this area, I don't think I'd worry about them taking over as badly as rabbits took over Australia because we have rather a lot of predators and also wild hogs. And if wild hogs won't dig up a bunny den and eat babies, I would be shocked.
And there's me with a 22. She didn't list me with a 22 under predators. What the hell? I'm hurt.
You're going to outcompete the hogs?
I'm hurt.
Yes, the hippos can stay in Colombia, thank you. We had a conversation about introducing hippos to the Rio Grande recently over Sunday breakfast. And Peter, of course, rightly shot it down. It's too shallow a river, but also that would be a heck of a border control.
Woof.
Oh.
Yeah, the hippos need to be able to submerge. So most Texas rivers ain't going to work.
Argentina to Texas, Jesse, the Darien Gap is in between those. Wandering up is unlikely.
Somebody stuck them in their pockets. The wanderer was some dude with a pocket full.
Oh my gosh, did you see the news article about the guy with the 200 lizards in his socks?
Yes, the picture was incredible.
200 lizards in socks. I mean, dude, how many socks do you need to pack to take on vacation?
He had a duffel bag full of rolled up socks and with a lizard out. It's like, what the hell?
The para only, or para, whatever it is, only has one or two babies at a time. So yeah, there's no way they're out competing because we have bunnies around here. Boy, do we have bunnies around
Bunnies
here.
and jacks.
So yeah,
Probably wouldn't overrun places like rabbits. You are harshing my mellow, ma'am.
the Africanized killer bees definitely did. I recently had a conversation with a local beekeeper, and he dissuaded me from attempting to keep bees in this area.
Really?
Yeah, Africanized bees. You do not handle beehives lightly, and you change them out frequently here. So unless you have a large enough bee yard to requeen your own bees and make sure that you know that you've got a European queen, your hives will get taken over.
Oh.
So, and it's
No way.
expensive to requeen if you're not running a big enough yard, which he is. He can requeen his own and track his own genetics. But in this area, beekeeping is difficult. So
It's challenging.
yeah,
Much like other things.
yeah, and I mean it's Texas. Everything's angry.
Especially the guy with the 22 who found out that they're not going to overrun him. Not going to have to face down a
I am sure there's something else there that you can find with the 22.
charge of
with the
Peruvian
22.
thing gummies. I just had this lovely mental image of standing there in the gap facing a horde of charging Peruvian thing gummies. And
This is why I got my husband the air pistol, was so he could pot shot the rabbits that were munching on my garden. Which, I mean, I really was just like pot shot at them, not necessarily kill them, but he did find that if he charges that little pistol hard enough, you can put a bunny down.
I discovered this a little while ago, but I have
Richard
rediscovered
Brown, terrible, terrible joke.
that airsoft comes with paint marking pellets. You can buy paint marking pellets for an airsoft gun.
Then you know if it's the same rabbit?
No. But there is a tomcat
babies.
running around with an actual case of blue balls right now. And he will not be crapping in my yard again, I'm willing to bet.
70-pound dogs think they're lap dogs because they're just big babies.
Yeah, that's right.
My current dog, 17 pounds of dog, is nervous about laps because all four paws don't stay on the lap real well, and he's a very skittish little boy. So
I think I'm giving. Today I'm feeling a little feisty. I'm world building and I'm stuck in, and my brain's fireworking. I'm afraid I've given the chat PTSD.
No, not this chat. This chat doesn't get PTSD, it gives PTSD. And on that note, we should probably wrap it up. Have you got any new releases you can talk about? All thoughts just left his brain.
No.
Yeah. I have work in progress, which Rick brought up at the beginning. And that would have been a spoiler, but the answer is because they haven't died again yet.
Oh yes, there's a delay. This is important.
Oh,
if you use or anything with PubShare, the guy running PubShare is having a fairly major PM medical preventive maintenance checks and services procedure done in mid-September. We were having to bump Arcane Intelligence because we don't know if he's going to be around to hit any buttons.
Well, he's been training his daughter, and hopefully he's okay. I may have to drop a line. I haven't been using PubShare recently, so haven't been keeping up with news, but hopefully he's okay because we like Chuck a lot.
We do.
But he was also training his daughter, so she should be able to keep things going. But, oh yes, we do. We should talk about the Ben Yallow project. I know Lisa's been super excited about that.
Yes.
So... yeah, no, Rick, it would have been a spoiler, but that's okay. So I'm writing in public, but only for my paid subscribers. It's on Substack. So they're getting a sneak peek of the next novel that I will have coming out, but it's not going to be done until probably end of September. So, Ben Yallow project. You want to talk about that Thursday?
Yeah,
Because
I think
we're about done
we
for
are.
today. We're running over.
Damn, we are.
So it's been a good chat. 22
Sorry
in all.
about the overrun by Peruvian thing gummies, cats getting blue balls, and everything else. My brain's just.
There's nothing wrong with that. As long as your squirrels are all chanting story, 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 we're on board for it.
I've got a whole bunch of squirrels very intent, all doing things that's making me worried. But it's fun.
Ooh, boring books are not novel. Thank you. On that note, it's very good thought for Jim and his daughter, who's currently still in surgery and will be for a while. And we'll be back on Thursday.
See you
even
Thursday
if
at
it's
noon.
just the two of us.
Probably will be.
Yeah. Okay. So I will be back on Thursday. We'll see you then.
Later.